Hello, I'm Bo Smith, and welcome to my Jackass Forever review. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Cinephile Gamers podcast. I am your host, Bo Smith, and yeah, as you heard in the intro, we're doing Jackass Forever today. Maybe a couple months too late, but oh well, that's what I saw most recently, so that's the review we're going to do. I promise I'm going to get to The Northman and Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent as well. Doctor Strange is going to be next week for sure, so that is definitely going to be the movie that I'm going to review for next week. So it's going to be maybe a few more weeks before you hear those other ones too. But I finally got to see Jackass Forever, and I gotta say, it was such a fun time. We rented it from Redbox, and while we were going up to my parents' cabin, it was my dad and Mackenzie and I. We were watching this movie together, and it is just a barrel of laughs. I'll get into it in a minute. So for those who don't know what Jackass is, it is a franchise that has been running for 20 years. It started off on MTV as a TV show where a group of guys got together and did stupid stuff and filmed it. And it was very low budget. I mean, it was just walking around with a handheld camcorder and then just going along with whatever they were coming up with on the spot. Ran for a couple seasons and then it got canceled, but then it got enough support behind it that they made a movie out of it, and it is running strong to this day. And this is something that I think that a lot of people were surprised about, is that this is the fourth movie to come out. There was 1, and then 2 and 3 got like a extended version cut for DVDs as well and re-releases, but no one really expected getting a fourth one, especially now that most of the guys are in their late 40s, like just pushing early 50. And so these stunts, or at least some of these stunts, are really dangerous, can really mess them up. And I think that's going to be the funny part, is that whenever you watch this, it's going to be the same shenanigans that you're used to, but you just have such a fun time. Now, Jackass is a series that has always been one of those over-the-top type of stunt work that you're going to see, or just gross out gags the entire time. This movie is a little bit lighter on the gross out gags, and you would think that they would be running out of ideas for all these different things, but I mean, they do not rest on their laurels for this movie, and they don't rehash some of the stuff. Some of the DNA from previous stuff is in here, but it's reformatted into something new. Like, for instance, there's one where a guy goes to a toilet that's in this garage sale, and it's kind of like the Lowe's one where he just pooped in a Lowe's toilet. But as he's doing it for this garage sale, the toilet explodes, and there's these onlookers that are freaked out. They're like, why are you going to the back? Why are you here? Why are you even doing this? So it changes up formula in some parts too. Of course, with this movie, we are missing cast members such as Ryan Dunn, who passed away after the third movie was done filming, and then Bam Margera, who has kind of his own issues going on. Hopefully he gets the help he needs, because you see some of these other cast members, and of course I think it's very obvious that a lot of them were alcoholics or heavy drug users. Steve-O in particular, who looks great. I mean, you can tell he is cleaned up, even though he still has a messed up voice. But like I said, hope Bam gets better. But you're missing a couple of the key cast members, so they brought in some fresh new blood to do maybe some of the more dangerous stunts that's definitely going to result in concussions and broken arms. But it's fun to see them get into these stunts, and you kind of expect them to haze the new people, and they really don't do that in this movie either. They treat everyone the same, and you're going to get pranked no matter what, no matter who you are, or you're going to be involved in some reckless, dangerous stunts as well. So it's good to see all around, and you see some of the craziest stuff. The person who gets it the worst in this movie by far is Aaron Danger. And I mean, I don't know if he signed up necessarily to do some of these things, but as far as like the most hard-hitting stunts goes, or the ones where I might have had to turn away because I was like, ooh, this is too much, it's Aaron. And I guess he brings part of it on himself, but he's the guy that I feel for the most. There's moments where he gets to do the cup test challenge, which is a challenge Johnny did several years ago that they revamped into 4 different sequences for. He also gets to do one where he's tied into an electric chair, but then a bear is brought out and they put honey and salmon all over him, and he's freaking out the entire time. Like, his eyes are just wide, and he's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And they're like, Aaron, don't move, click. And then he starts shaking from being electrocuted. Oh man, he really does get it the worst. Now we're a few minutes into this review already, and you're probably wondering, like, what's the purpose of this movie? There is no purpose of this movie, and it's kind of hard to do a review on this type of movie because it's the same as the last few movies. So you know what you're getting into. You just kind of see how they're going to get hurt this time. And that's always been the fun part of this, is you know exactly what you are signing up for, and you are not necessarily expecting this to be some out there movie where it's going to change up the formula in dramatic ways. No, they do keep it fresh in doing these new stunts and building upon building, or maybe even misdirecting a few different times, both with the audience as well as with the cast members and some of the pranks that they pull. But I like that about this movie is, I guess in a world today where it's very serious, or you have more movies that are trying to push boundaries or even trying to write heavy-hitting stories, this is a movie that you can just turn on TV or stream or watch with friends, and you just have a fun time no matter what. You're going to be laughing so hard, and you're going to be just crying from laughing so hard. I mean, I was hunched over laughing from some of these stunts and getting this high-pitched girly laugh that runs in both me and my dad's family just from laughing so hard. So I think this is a good time. So it's one of those movies that, you can't really compare it to anything else, but it sets out what it's going for, and that is to make you laugh as hard as you can. And obviously you have these cast members that the ones that aren't participating, they're always involved with it because they are laughing, so it's a good time to laugh. Or if they're covering their mouth like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened, you're also going to be doing this. I mean, Johnny Knoxville, I don't know what his fascination is with bulls, but he does, once again, another stunt where he is going up against this bull, and he doesn't even try to jump out of the way, or I don't know if he tries to get out of the way fast enough, but he does a flip and a half, lands on his head, and the next thing you hear is him snoring. And I'm laughing, but everyone else is just kind of shocked. And so it just shows him being carried out on a stretch, and he wakes up and he starts talking to people. And so he's like, I fractured some ribs, I got a concussion. It's just one of those crazy things. And there are just crazy stunts throughout this movie too that you're just like, you should not be doing this. And that's where we play this game of how much would it take for me to do some of these stunts. There are a few of them I'm like, I would probably try this. Then there are a few I'm like, no. Why? Why would you ever do this? And I imagine that, one, they're not having to worry about medical bills because somehow the studio is able to cover all this. And two, they're getting paid pretty well for this too. I'm kind of curious what that money bag looks like for them, for people who have to kiss a snake or have spiders bite them on the nipple or get a scorpion going straight for the lips. And you think I'm exaggerating. No, these are some of the things that happen in this. Anything that involves bugs or spiders, snakes, things that will bite, I'm out. That is an immediate out for me. And it's like the new people that do some of these stuff, and Aaron, that do these, and I'm just like, no. Why? Why would you do this? No. Oh. Anyways, then there are the stunts that are way out there that I'm just like, I don't know if you could get me to do this. Anything involving heights, I'm automatically out on. But there are a few that I'm like, I don't know, I could try it. One of them is Johnny Knoxville once again getting shot out of a cannon, which is hilarious. Another is having these fans that are blowing a parachute out, and you're kind of either trying to ski off of it and then go off a ramp. I would try that. Probably going to break something in the process. There's also a ton of cameos in this movie. Obviously, there's Eric Andre, but they have a few different musical creators on there who they're like Tyler, the Creator, is one of them that comes out and helps participate. Of course, they get a UFC fighter, they get a softball pitcher, and then, of course, an all-star hockey player. But it's fun seeing like the musical creators go up and actually being a part of these stunts too, where they get a prank pulled on them too. I think Tyler, the Creator, has a good one where he's playing a piano and the others are having to do a tap dance on this electrical floor. And after a little bit, they had to stop. And then he gets up and he says, "This isn't electrocuted as well." And he's tapping on the bench. He's like, "This is metal. Don't try to play me." And then they start going again and he gets zapped. And so he gets the director on the chair and starts zapping him. It's just funny. It's the while I'm trying to talk about this, I'm laughing about it. And I'm just like, I want to watch this again because I was having such a good time. And of course, there is those stunts, like I mentioned, that I would absolutely not do. One was with Steve-O involving bees on his junk and essentially just making a beehive out of it. Don't know how you do that. One, I'm allergic to bees, so wouldn't even do that in the first place, but I don't know how you do that in general. And he's freaking out the entire time. 3 of the cast members have to be mimes, and they can't make any noise while they're being affected on these stunts. One is kissing a snake, which is a note for me. One is licking a taser, and I don't know how that girl just did not start crying in that. And then another is Steve-O with a dummy guillotine with a skateboard, and it just shows it dropping, and then as he's miming for it to go up like he's insulted, they put it at the very top and he just shoves his ankles under this guillotine, and that skateboard lands right on the shin bones and he starts screaming. Oh, these guys are so stupid. How are they doing this? At 40 or however old they are. This is so nuts. But anyways, there's really not much more to talk about this movie. I really recommend it. And it's, like I had mentioned before, it sets out what it's trying to do, which is to make you laugh, make you gag at some of the things, or, I don't know, just be a distraction from the world. It's such a good time. I really think it lines up as maybe the best Jackass movie, in my opinion. For me, that's always been 2.5 with the deleted scenes is the best Jackass because it has the fake terrorist prank stunt that backfires on, I think it was Aaron in that one too. But yeah, Jackass Forever, it cuts back on some of the gross out gag stuff. You still have some of the gross eating ones, but it's a lot more prank involving and stunt involving ones, and I appreciate that a little bit more. Overall, it was such a fun time. The 3 of us were having a ball the entire time and red in the face and just burning up from laughing so hard. But if you haven't gone out and seen Jackass Forever, go out, rent it right now, go buy a DVD, go watch it on streaming service. I think it's Paramount Plus maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but this is definitely a fun time that you can watch with your friends and just for the next hour and a half be tickled pink watching everything that's on screen. I give Jackass Forever an 8 out of 10. So, have you guys seen Jackass Forever yet? If you have, what was your favorite stunt of this movie? Or what was your favorite stunt in general? Let me know. You can follow me on Facebook at the Cinephile Gamers Podcast, or you can also get on Twitter and follow me there, Cinephile Gamers. Or if you want to donate to the show, have a good time, maybe even have some exclusive content on there, you can follow us on Patreon as well. As always, guys, thanks again for joining me. Can't wait to see you on the next episode.